Well, good day nerds. Today we're going to take a look at participation ace mastery for STB-1 on this Alpenstad map. Definitely didn't butcher that name. Our team is made up of a hull down tank, a hull down tank, a hull down tank, a hull down tank, a hull down tank. Very interesting, and 2 tank destroyers. And Gray is kinda overcomplicated in terms of playstyle, and 183 only has damage per shot. On the enemy team they have side scraping heavy that can also sometimes play hull down, another hull down tank, paper medium, somewhat decently armored light tank, don't particularly like it. Let's talk a bit more shit about tanks. Let's talk about let's talk about Yag. Yag received armor buff quite a while ago. Before, it used to be quite mediocre tank. You would have to wiggle in particular way and hope the enemy can't press the 2 key to unlock their skill and penetrate your tank. Now it can side script properly, so it is quite decent tank nowadays. STB used to be god awful back in the day. It used to have 30mm weak spot on the front and a very bad damage per minute, but for that it used to have highest view range. They changed that, they gave it armor, so now it has 80mm weak spot. You can still headshot it if you know where to shoot. Capola is quite weak actually. There is a 15mm weak spot and 30mm weak spot that you can shoot at. If you don't like the RNG skill issue, then you can butcher STB-1 still, but you require that RNG skill issue to be not there. Other thing they added to this tank is 11 degrees of gun depression. It's okay, it's a bit gimmicky, not necessary, but fine. It doesn't make the tank completely broken. There are ways to penetrate it, there are ways to play the tank, it's completely fine. Then there's this hull down tank, WZ121. It doesn't have gun depression, it only has 6 degrees of gun depression, it's completely fine, but what this tank has is quite bad, I would say, for the game design. And that is, it has high damage per shot for mediums, and it has high damage per minute as well. It is about 3400 if I'm not fudging the numbers. That is very close to what Object 11462A get, and they only get that damage per minute because they have low damage per shot, whereas this tank, despite having high damage per shot, gets about the same damage per minute, which makes no sense. It's bad for game design. It's not like the tank is completely broken or shit, something like that. I would say it's slightly overcooked. It's also quite mobile. On the enemy team, let's talk about even 100. It used to be mediocre tank. Yes, I'm going to use the term mediocre because other than specific few players who know how to angle the tank and wiggle in correct moments and have enemy that are quite bad and they don't know if they can press 2 key, they unlock their skill shells. Even head used to bounce. Otherwise, even head never used to bounce. Even if you angle it properly, you would get penetrated by skill rounds on medium tanks. That was quite bad. They buffed the even 100, which was good in terms of armor profile. Now the tank is hardly penetrable if it is angled properly, and the tank still is quite strong even when it's looking towards you. So the super heavy finally has armor, unlike heavy arms, which used to have more armor than super heavy, because super heavy required to have that gimmick that it will have to turn its turret away to have thickness armor, whereas heavy arm didn't require to do any of that crap, and they didn't suffer from mobility issue like the even 100 did. But they finally buffed the even 100, which is good. But what was not good is, of course, Wargaming shooting themselves in the foot again. They gave even 100 better traverse numbers. Like, it is already a strong super heavy. if you know how to play your cards right, you would never leave a strong cover in E100. Now what they have done is, if you're stupid enough to go in E100 in the open, and medium notices that you're stupid enough to go into open, then they will attempt to circle you. But as they've given it traverse number buff, you can now keep up with medium that is trying to circle you. Amazing job, Wargaming. That requires a bit of clap. Then there's this M6 heavy. I don't particularly like it. I mean, it's slightly overcooked like WZ121. It's not entirely broken, say like this pretty much main battle tank over here, VK90. But this M6 heavy, it has two guns that it can mount. The first is the damage per minute gun, which has 3 shells, and the other is the high damage per shot gun, which basically makes it 183 without the issues of 183. The other thing that this tank has, it has a gimmick. If you break its tracks, it can still move. I mean, it's fine, it's not particularly bad, but it still has armor profile. It's quite mobile. It's hard to circle. You can get up to 60 degrees traverse if you use a turret and hull. So medium tanks, if you are unfortunate enough to be a 1v1 situation in a medium against M6 there are only two things that you can do. That is to have good luck and play range. You can't circle this boy. If you attempt to circle him, it will punch 2 new buttholes to you with its 2 shotgun, which does damage like 183, or it will chase you down with its damage per minute gun. Then there is Object 140. Oh my god, it's already 7 minutes and I haven't started the video. Then there's the Object 140. It got rebalanced, and I wouldn't say they rebalanced it the correct way. They went the stupid route of giving it mobility like they did, even more mobility like they did with the FV4202, which is just plain stupid. Why do I say that? Well, in the same tier, Object 907 exists. It has exactly the same mobility, exactly the same firepower, exactly the same, if not better, accuracy. And it has better turret armor than, say, T62A. So Object 140 is like a poor man's 907 basically at this point. And then there was also T1LT, which has slightly less damage per minute than Object 140, but that tank can do so much more shit than this tank would ever be able to do. What they could have done, instead of like giving it mobility, they could have changed its what the tank shoots. They could have went full meme route and gave it 3 AP rounds. The first standard round that we already know and love, 240 millimeters of penetration with AP. Then premium AP round, quite similar to what the T1LT has, about 280 millimeters of penetration if I remember correctly, or 290 on premium AP. And then gave it AP HE shell like SU100Y at tier 6, I believe. What does that shell do? It's an AP round that does more damage than your standard rounds, but it has less penetration. Then at least the Object 140 would be different enough than, say, T62A and the Object 907 and the T22 and the T1LT. At the moment, it is pretty much the same thing, but just slightly worse. Then they spray the 65. I think it's a fine tank. I would really appreciate if the gun wasn't as bad in terms of accuracy, but can't really complain. It was the tank that finally made Wargaming notice how bad shit the bat is. So 10 points to Predator 65 for that. Then there's Vickers Light. This is a tank I do not appreciate Wargaming for adding, because they went this stupid route several times with this tank. They first gave it armor profile despite this tank doing 65 kilometers per hour, and then they decided to nerf, which was fine, but then the tank had few things. It had flexibility, it had high explosive plastic shells. I think that's only German. So high explosive squash head shells as its third shell, which is about 115 millimeters of penetration HE round. That is good. That's situational, and the gun is a bit derpy. That's it. And the Vickers used to have highest view range before they decided to change that for no reason. They changed its view range with Sheridan and gave Sheridan even better view range for absolutely no reason. Now that we're 10 minutes in, let's finally go into the battle. We're on this side, so there's this route to spot mediums. Nobody does it. I don't know why. They always go over here and commit to corner, and then they're going to poke sideways and get found by the tank destroyers. There's this bush. On this burrito, smack. Get spotted. Everybody farms him. This is why you go to this bush at the start. Notice for to dodge him. Fail to penetrate my spall headshot rounds, and the guy doesn't have spall liner. Yeah, RNG is absolutely giving me high damage per shots. If our tank destroyer played their cards correctly, they would have went slightly over here and found even 100 and gave it a new butthole. But our tank destroyers are not that good. Another sick high roll. Vickers is running away. Don't know where the 4005 is. Oh wait, we knew it was somewhere here. Don't know where the grill 15 is. That wasn't spotted yet. There's the grill 15, so only tank over here is Progetto. We can push that corner, but WZ121 is not going to do it. What is this guy? Try to kill him with my headshot shell, but I lack the RNG skill issue moment. Then I'm going to kill the WoT 40 and manage to hit that one point where I can't penetrate. Absolute muppet. STM-6 There's the grill. I was going to chase the Object 140, but Grill is over there. Want to shoot him once again, but Grill might shoot me if I try to chase him. So I'm going to test if the Grill has high spall liner or not. Going towards Grill. Aiming. He does have spall liner, so I can't shoot headshot at him because my tank doesn't do more than 25% damage to headshot shells. I have to run away. Getting focused. Went to one managed to die, and now it's quite bad. There are 5 tanks over there, only 3 tanks on our team. I'm quite low HP, and the other 2 tank destroyers cannot support me at all. So what I can do is be as tempting target, so tank destroyers on our spawn can support me. And I want to force players to go up the hill. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Going to attempt to spot any heavies. Oh, there's the M60, got the skill round. There's the grilly as well. That is bad. They have the... oh, that's the 4005. We can smack him. And they're stupid enough to sit in open for me, so I'm going to smack him once again. Then grill 15 comes up, and just smack me. I'm going to break their tracks because I want to test if they have another repair kit or not. If they do, then they don't have adrenaline, then I can get lucky. Break the track again. The second time, there's a second repair kit. Okay, so they don't have any more left, so I'm going to break their tracks again. And now I'm going to wait for my gun to reload and hope that I don't die. Not even close. 900 damage blocked. Easy. Kidding, of course. M60 was coming towards me. That can be bad if they will come from this side. They will force me to go down the hill and they can chase me down the hill and they will kill me. But if they will go from this side, then I would proxy spot them and they won't be able to chase me because I would be on the top of the hill. They would be on the bottom of the hill. They won't be able to chase me down. And they're on the bottom of the hill, so I can just leave them. I'm going to play range with them because I can't circle them, and they can definitely kill me in single shot. There we go. Our tank destroyers managed to do something sick. We're going to use this tree. You spot the M60 and set up an ambush. Somehow managed to hit that, sure. I'm going to run away. I want to play range with that guy. Only thing I can do against that guy is mobility and view range. Relay is going to commit to them, so we can finally check if the M60 have damage per minute gun or the damage per shot gun. That was a damage per minute gun, looks like. Yep. Second shell and third shell. So I can't push them, I have to maintain range, otherwise they would reload by that point. I'm going to attempt to shoot them. RNG skill issue moment. I'm going to attempt to shoot them once again. Smack him. Nice high roll. Really smacks them as well. Now I do have to commit to them. Their hull is poking out, so I can do a quick jab. There we go. That was sick. Managed to do 5,400 damage. As you know, the game is an ace. I would say it's a mediocre ace. And that's it.